Hello everyone, this is Sam from Remax Realtron Realty Inc. as well as SaberiSixRealEstate. As always, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be a shorter one, and I'm just making this video because a client of mine asked a question related to the topic. Put it succinctly and shortly off the bat, landlord reference letters don't really mean anything. If you don't want to watch this whole video, skip to the end at this point, and I will give a very quick summary as to why I'm exactly saying landlord reference letters don't mean much. Before I get to that though, please subscribe, comment, rate, and review. If you think I'm wrong, tell me why in the comment section. If you think I'm right, also tell me why as well. And you can find all the ways in which you can contact me for any general real estate inquiries you might have, specifically about the Toronto real estate market, in the description box and on the screen as well. I started off this video with just saying what I truly believe, which is landlord reference letters don't really mean anything, right? And let me explain why. To explain why, I have to give some general background as to why they're customarily used anyways in the first place. See, when you're trying to rent a unit, whether it's a house or a condo, typically the landlord or the landlord's agent wants to know that they're renting their unit to a qualified tenant. So what does qualified mean? Well, a qualified tenant takes care of the property, they pay rent on time, and in the case of a house wherein the utilities are not included, they also pay the hydro bill, the gas bill, the water bill, so on and so forth. So one of the metrics used to see if the tenant is qualified is a landlord reference letter. Obviously, in the past, I've always made videos about this as well. Other metrics are income report, so some sort of job letter, employment report, a job contract, and as well as a credit report and other various documents, financial documents like banking statements and such. So one of these documents is a landlord reference letter, and from the perspective of the landlord, hypothetically, this letter is supposed to indicate that if you have rented previously, if you are a good tenant, and if you've paid rent on time, and if you were quiet and you kept the unit clean, if you damaged anything, just basically a stamp of approval from your previous landlords, so your potential new landlord can see that this person was in the past a great tenant, and thus as a consequence they are wholly qualified for my unit. Now this is all in theory. In reality, landlord reference letters don't mean anything, and this is why. Most landlords want to get rid of their current tenants as soon as possible. So let us imagine a case where you rent out a unit to a tenant who barely pays rent, doesn't pay the hydro bill, often loud, and they don't really take care of the property that well, right? So you may ask, well, obviously if that tenant asks for a reference letter, the landlord will write in the reference letter that this tenant was unclean, they did not pay rent, they were generally just a bad tenant, right? That's what you would assume. Well, that never happens because that landlord is very much so desperate for this tenant to leave for a combination of reasons. One of which is they're bad tenants and they want to get good tenants. Another reason, in conjunction with that reason, can also be the fact that, hey, if I rent it out right now, I can get much higher per month than I could if I were to renew with this current bad tenant. So for these reasons, landlords have the incentive to get the tenant out as soon as possible. And because of that incentive, if the tenant is looking to rent somewhere else, they're going to do whatever in their power to make it as easy as possible for their tenant to find somewhere else, right? So they can vacate the unit. Maybe they want to sell. Maybe, like I just said, they want to bring in better tenants. Maybe they want to bring in better tenants and increase their rent price. So when they write a landlord reference letter, they're gonna say whatever, even if it's the opposite of the truth. They're gonna say this tenant was great, they always paid rent on time, never had an issue, they always kept the unit clean, they never had loud parties. They're gonna say whatever they can, so the other landlord reads this letter and it might help improve their capacity to allow their current tenants to move into their unit. So when I'm the realtor on the landlord side and a realtor sends an offer, and in the offer they include a reference letter, obviously I have ethical obligations to show this reference letter to my client, but I always preface it by saying do not put too much emphasis or stock into what this reference letter says. They will say whatever to get rid of their current tenants. I want to add as well that this does not just apply to bad tenants as well. You can have very good tenants who are having a hard time finding a place, and as a landlord it is in your best interest to vacate the premises, so you would still write a glowing reference letter anyways. So in summation, if I were to summarize this whole video in 30 seconds, this is exactly what I would say. Landlord reference letters as proof of quality tenants don't mean much, because landlords are incentivized to lie in regards to how good a tenant is in the reference letter to get them out as soon as possible. And such incentives come from the fact that if the landlords get rid of the tenants as soon as possible, they can vacate the premises, potentially sell, and as well as re-rent and put it on the market again for a higher price than they have previously rented out before. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Give me a thumbs down if you think I'm wrong, if you disagree. I'm open and I'm a pretty honest guy, so I expect honest feedback. In fact, I appreciate honest feedback. So yeah, this is Sam from Remax Realtron, SaberiSixRealEstate, and until next time, thank you very much.